ones that are in better position to take full advantage of opportunities when they present themselves. When you're playing a football game, you never know. If one play would change the outcome of the game. You never know. That play may come the first play of the game, the second play of the game, midway through the third quarter. It could be the last play of the game. You never know. So you have to play every play like it's the only play. And that's what we look at when we're recruiting an athlete. How serious is he about going to school? Because one, when you talk about recruiting athletes, I'm going to get a little deeper for the parents. You're talking about enrollment management. What is enrollment management? Recruiting and retention. So we recruit a good athlete, we have to know that this student is going to stay in school for the duration and earn his degree. If you don't, the school just lost a lot of money. So let's make no, let's not get the story twisted. It's a business. It's a huge business. College football is a multi-billion-dollar business, and it's about, the bottom line is dollars and cents. How much money can this player bring to our program? So when we recruit an athlete, we're looking at the character patterns, the study patterns, how serious is this person about his academics or about his own success.
Yes. Also being a former college basketball coach, I coached 10 years in college. And what I came to recognize and what I came to look for is I wanted a good person, first and foremost, because you're going to be a representative of the university. Second thing, I want you to be a good student because the days of the athlete-student are over. Back in my times in college, and I'm quite sure many of the panel's times in college, you could have an individual who pretty much just skated by, and the university didn't have a problem with that. The NCAA is cracking down on that now. And the NCAA is held accountable by graduation rates. And so they can't just go out and get good athletes anymore. They've got to get quality students. And if you are not going to be a quality student, you're going to have a tougher time finding a school. Because what you definitely have to recognize, because you are NCAA certified, eligible to play, if you are a bare minimum, let's say Division I student, and you have the bare minimum 2.0, 1,010 on the SATs, that does not guarantee you acceptance into any university. The better your grades are, the better your SATs are, the more options that you have. So definitely be a student athlete. Be a student first, athlete second.
Just to give some guys here some insight on what it takes to be a college football player. I know I talked with a couple of guys before about how our schedule, like at Penn State, goes from 5 in the morning until 9, 10 o'clock at night. But to give you some up-to-date current insight on what a daily schedule is like, I'm going to let Jared tell you a little bit about what the schedule is like at Temple University and where he is from there.
Okay. Well, basically, we start at like 5 a.m. every day. I've been up at like 5 or so since I got to college. Just depending who you are, from the top-notch player on the team or the freshman who just got there. You know what I'm saying? I get up at 5, I'll go down and lift, and I go back to mandatory breakfast. Now, everything is mandatory. I go to mandatory breakfast. You have to eat. You don't get that first day, that first minute of the day, and everything stops. Then I have my classes from about 8:40 to about noon, which are all checked by the coaches. You know what I'm saying? School is very important, and if you miss class, then you just don't want to miss class. It's not worth it, trust me. Well, around 12 or so, I'll get out, quick 30-minute lunch. That's it. Now, if you're injured, maybe that's a 15-minute lunch. You get down there, get taped, get braced up. Then you have to watch film for about an hour or two, watching different formations, breakdowns, all different teams, your opponents. Then from there, you have practice for several hours, probably from around 1 or 2 to about late 4, 5, depending on what day of the week it is. Then you go to dinner, mandatory dinner. You have to sit with your team, with your coaches. Then from there, depending if you have the right GPA or not, which at Temple, it's a 2-5 for upperclassmen, 3-0 for freshmen. If you don't have that, you're going back down to the complex or study hall for 2 hours. So, you know, they make you hit the books. You get a mentor and tutors, and they make sure you get your grades. Then that ends about 9 or 9:30. You get snack, and this year, or the last 2 years at Temple, curfew is every day at 10:30. So you got about an hour to do what you want, go to sleep, get up again at 5 the next day. And 1 second, just to piggyback off the grades, like to piggyback on what he said, the age of the athlete student is over at Temple. My sophomore year, D's and F's cost the school $75,000 just from the football team, from players getting poor grades. And Coach Gordon wasn't having that. I know some of my guys here played with Coach Gordon over at Penn State. That's the head coach at Temple now. D's and F's don't fly at Temple, just for parents. If your kids come, well, this is a lot of programs now. If you want to get a D or F, you're coming out of pocket for it. And that's in the contracts that a lot of players have to sign now. Personally, one of my roommate, just parents had to come up with $8 grand. He wanted to fill both his summer classes. They had to come out of pocket for that. So that's a little what my life's like right now. You had a question on top? The hardest thing was, it's not a game anymore. It's more or less lifestyle when you get to college football. High school football is fun, of course football is fun, but it's your job now. You know what I'm saying? You're there to get an education first, and secondly, to win games, you have to perform. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of money, like he said, it's a business. You win games, the school gets money, so it's a lot more riding, the stakes so much higher. And like I also said earlier, if you don't do what you have to do, you will get replaced. Scholarships are renewed year to year, so making it there is not the goal, you know what I'm saying? To finish is the goal, because just making it there is nothing. You can lose that in 8 months. Get there in August, and you can be gone in May. Just like that. Up top.
I understand you say you have mandatory meals. What is the food like?
Well, as you can see, I'm eating pretty good. You know, I haven't missed too many meals, but I mean, it's good. I don't have any complaints at Temple. Actually, this year they reconstructed the cafeteria, so the student athletes, well, the football team, we have our own section.